Rejection is one of the few things that can break a person without making a sound. No blood, no visible scars, just a quiet, heavy feeling that sits in your chest and whispers, "You're not enough." You've felt it before, haven't you? The message left on seen. The opportunity that slipped through your hands. The person you wanted, choosing someone else. And in those moments, something inside you shifts. You start questioning your value, overthinking your words, doubting your worth. But what if everything you've been taught about rejection is wrong? What if rejection was never meant to stop you, but to redirect you? What if every no you've ever received was actually protecting you, sharpening you, forcing you to become someone stronger, more aware, more dangerous? Because the truth is, the people who win in life are not the ones who avoid rejection. They are the ones who know how to use it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Mind Awakening channel. In this video, you're about to discover 9 psychological lessons that will completely change the way you see rejection. And once you understand this, you will never fear a no again. Now, let's get started. Lesson number 1, rejection reveals. It doesn't reduce your value. The first mistake most people make is believing that rejection defines their worth. It doesn't. Rejection is not a verdict, it's information. It reveals mismatches, timing issues, different priorities, or simply someone else's limited perspective. But when you take rejection personally, you shrink yourself to fit someone else's opinion. And that's where the real damage begins. A strong mind flips this completely. Instead of asking, "What's wrong with me?" you ask, "What is this showing me?" Because every rejection carries a message, not about your value, but about alignment. And the moment you understand this, you stop chasing approval. You stop forcing connections. You stop begging to be chosen. Because you realize something powerful. You were never rejected. You were redirected. Lesson number 2. The less you chase, the more you attract. There's a strange psychological truth most people ignore. The more desperate you are, the less attractive you become. When you chase too hard, attention, validation, approval, you communicate one thing. I need this to feel complete. And people can feel that. It creates pressure. It creates imbalance. It pushes others away without you even realizing it. But when you step back, when you stop chasing and start focusing on yourself, everything changes. You become calm, grounded, self-sufficient, and suddenly people notice. Not because you're trying harder, but because you're no longer trying at all. Rejection teaches you this the hard way. What is meant for you doesn't require desperation, and what requires you to lose yourself was never meant to stay. Lesson number 3. Rejection builds emotional immunity. At first, rejection hurts. It stings. It lingers. It makes you question everything. But something interesting happens when you experience it enough times. You stop breaking. You start adapting. Each rejection becomes a layer of armor. Each no strengthens your ability to stay grounded. Each disappointment teaches you how not to collapse emotionally. And over time, you develop something rare, emotional immunity. You no longer fear hearing no. You no longer overreact to loss. You no longer attach your identity to outcomes because you've trained your mind to understand pain is temporary. Rejection is normal. And nothing external has the power to define you unless you allow it. At that point, you stop avoiding rejection and start using it. Before we go further, let me ask you something simple. What was the last rejection that actually stayed in your mind, and why do you think it affected you so deeply? Take a moment, be honest with yourself, and share your answers in the comments below. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone in this. And if this video is already changing the way you see rejection, consider subscribing to the channel to support us, so we can keep creating content that helps you grow stronger, think deeper, and see life differently. Now, let's continue. Lesson number 4. Rejection forces you to raise your standards. Most people think rejection is a loss, but in reality, it's a filter. It removes what doesn't align with your future. The problem is, when you don't have standards, you take every rejection personally. You try to fit in. You lower yourself. You accept less just to avoid hearing no again. But rejection is not there to break you. It's there to wake you up, to show you that not everything deserves your time, energy, or attention. A disciplined mind uses rejection as a mirror, not to question worth, but to refine standards. You start asking, is this even right for me? Does this align with who I'm becoming? And suddenly, you're no longer trying to be accepted everywhere. You become selective. And when you become selective, you stop being rejected by the wrong things because you stop choosing them in the first place. Lesson number 5. Rejection exposes hidden dependence. Rejection hurts the most when you were depending on something more than you realized. Someone's approval, a specific outcome, a version of the future you built in your mind. And when it's taken away, you don't just lose the opportunity, you lose the emotional attachment you placed on it. That's why it feels so heavy. But this is where rejection becomes powerful. It reveals your hidden attachments. It shows you where you've given away control. Because the more you depend on something external, the more power it has over your internal state. A strong mind learns from this. It doesn't avoid connection, but it avoids dependence. It builds a life where happiness, stability, and identity are not tied to one person, one result, or one path. And when you reach that point, rejection no longer shakes you. It simply redirects you. Lesson number 6. Rejection teaches strategic detachment. There's a difference between caring and attaching. Most people don't know the difference. They invest emotionally too quickly. They expect too much too soon. They attach meaning to things that haven't earned it yet. And when rejection happens, it feels like everything collapses. But a disciplined mind plays a different game. It engages, but stays grounded. It invests, but observes. It cares, but doesn't cling. This is strategic detachment. You give your best effort without tying your identity to the outcome. You stay open without becoming dependent. And this changes everything. Because now, rejection doesn't feel like loss. It feels like information. And when you operate from that mindset, you move through life with clarity, control, and quiet confidence. That's the kind of presence people can't ignore. Lesson number 7. Rejection sharpens your direction. Most people drift through life until rejection forces them to stop, to rethink, to reassess, to question where they're actually going. Because without resistance, you would keep moving in the wrong direction, comfortably. Rejection interrupts that. It forces clarity. It asks you, is this really what you want? Or were you just following a path you never questioned? A disciplined mind uses rejection as a compass, not as a setback, but as a correction. You begin to notice patterns, what doesn't work, what doesn't align, what keeps closing doors, and instead of forcing your way through, you adjust, you evolve. Because sometimes rejection isn't blocking your path, it's protecting you from the wrong one. And when you learn to read it this way, you stop feeling lost, you start moving with precision. Lesson number 8. Rejection builds silent confidence. There's a type of confidence that doesn't come from winning. It comes from surviving rejection, from hearing no and still moving forward, from being overlooked and still believing in yourself, from being doubted and continuing anyway. This kind of confidence is quiet. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need validation. It doesn't need approval, because it's been tested. A disciplined mind doesn't rely on praise to feel strong. It builds strength internally through experience, and rejection becomes part of that process. Every time you face it and keep going, you prove something to yourself. I can handle this. And once you truly believe that, you stop fearing judgment. You stop overthinking opinions. You move differently, calm, certain, untouchable. That's the kind of confidence people feel, even when you say nothing. Lesson number 9. Rejection teaches you to choose yourself. At the deepest level, rejection forces one question. If they don't choose me, will I still choose myself? And most people hesitate because they've built their identity around being accepted, liked, validated. So when rejection happens, they feel lost. But a strong mind answers differently. It understands that being chosen by others means nothing if you don't choose yourself first. Rejection becomes a turning point. You stop begging for attention. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop placing your worth in someone else's hands, and instead, you build your own standard, your own path, your own identity. Because the moment you truly choose yourself, rejection loses its power. It no longer defines you. It simply reveals who is not meant to walk your journey, and that realization sets you free. Conclusion. In the end, rejection was never your enemy. It was your teacher. Every no you faced, every door that closed, every moment you felt overlooked or not chosen, they were not there to diminish you. They were there to refine you, to strip away your dependence on approval, to force you to see yourself more clearly, to push you toward a version of you that no longer begs, but chooses. Because the truth is simple, but hard to accept. Rejection doesn't block your life. It redirects it to where you actually belong. And here's the lesson you need to carry forward. Stop asking, why did they reject me? Start asking, what is this trying to teach me? Then apply it practically. The next time you face rejection, pause. Don't react emotionally. Analyze it. Learn from it. Adjust your direction. Detach your worth from the outcome. Refocus on your growth. And most importantly, keep moving. Because the people who win in life are not the ones who avoid rejection. They are the ones who transform because of it. If this video changed the way you see rejection, subscribe to the channel to support the journey, so we can continue creating content that challenges your mindset and helps you grow stronger every single day. Now, go use rejection to your advantage. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.